The neon lights of Port Azura reflected off Bella's iridescent skin as she huddled in the shadowed alley of the lower district. Her expensive silk robes were replaced with tattered rags, her bioluminescent markings dulled with synthetic mud. She was the daughter of Ambassador Veltara, one of the wealthiest luminari in the Galactic Senate. Yet tonight she sat among discarded cargo containers like refuse. Another one, Bella whispered to herself as a Croatian merchant hurried past, deliberately avoiding eye contact. His triple-jointed legs carried him swiftly away from her outstretched hand. This was the 43rd sentient being to ignore her in 3 hours. Bella's experiment had begun as a philosophical curiosity. Her father often spoke of the inherent goodness in civilized species, how advancement brought compassion. But Bella had seen the lavish parties, heard the whispered cruelties behind jeweled masks, watched as her father's colleagues smiled while scheming. She needed to know if genuine kindness existed beyond social obligation and political maneuvering, so she had disguised herself as destitute and ventured into the trading hub where 100 species mingled. Draconians with their scaled pride, Etherians with their telepathic superiority, Croatians with their commercial cunning. Surely someone would help a being in need. But the galaxy, it seemed, had no time for beggars. A group of Etherian youths passed by, their silver eyes glowing with disdain as they read her surface thoughts. One laughed, a crystalline sound that cut like glass. Pathetic, the word echoed in her mind before they moved on. Bella pulled her ragged hood tighter. Perhaps her father was wrong. Perhaps compassion was merely a luxury afforded by wealth and security, discarded when inconvenient. The evening air grew colder as the station's environmental system cycled to night mode. Bella's empty stomach cramped. She had refused to eat before leaving, wanting the authenticity of genuine hunger. Around her, the sounds of the port continued. The hiss of hydraulics, the babble of 1,000 languages, the electronic chime of successful transactions. "Miss, are you all right?" The voice startled her. It was rough, unrefined by the translation matrix most species used. She looked up to see a human male crouching beside her. Concern etched across his strange, expressive face. Bella had heard of humans, the newest species to join the galactic community. They were considered barbaric by many standards, their planet still recovering from countless self-inflicted wars. They had no natural armor, no enhanced senses, no psionic abilities. They were, in the assessment of most civilized species, barely worth acknowledging. Bella hesitated, her theatrical suffering suddenly feeling obscene under his genuine worry. "I'm hungry." The human, his name tag read Canet Cargo Specialist, and frowned. Without a word, he shrugged off his worn jacket and draped it over her shoulders. The garment smelled of engine oil and something distinctly organic, but it was warm. "Wait here," Canet said. Bella watched as he jogged to a nearby food vendor. She expected him to return with scraps, perhaps something past its expiration. Instead, he came back with a steaming container of what appeared to be fresh protein noodles and a sealed bottle of purified water. "Here," he said, pressing them into her hands. "It's not fancy, but it's hot. I have no credits to pay you," Bella stammered, the lie bitter on her tongue. Connet smiled, and it transformed his unremarkable features into something warm. "I'm not asking for payment. Everyone deserves to eat." He sat down beside her, apparently unconcerned with the grime of the alley floor. "I'm Kenneth. Been working the docks for about 6 months now. You got a name?" "Bella," she said softly, the food warming her hands. "Nice to meet you, Bella. Look, I know things can get rough out here. The galaxy's a big place, and it's easy to feel lost." He paused, gazing up at the artificial sky displaying a holographic starfield. "Back on Earth, I was homeless for a year. Thought I'd never get out of it. Then someone gave me a chance, just one person who saw me as more than a problem to step over." Bella ate slowly, each bite more difficult to swallow than the last. Not because of the food, it was actually quite good, but because of the growing shame blossoming in her chest. "The funny thing about being down," Kenneth continued, "is you learn who people really are. Most folks, they'll cross the street to avoid you, but then there are some, rare ones, who'll stop. Who'll see you as a person, not a statistic." He glanced at her. "I figure if someone helped me, I should pay it forward whenever I can." "Why?" Bella asked, her voice cracking. "Why do you care about a stranger?" Kenneth looked genuinely puzzled by the question. "Why wouldn't I? You're suffering and I can help. Doesn't seem complicated to me." He stood up, brushing off his pants. Listen, there's a shelter 2 sectors over. Not great, but it's safe and warm. Tell them Kenneth sent you. They'll set you up for a few nights while you get back on your feet. He pulled out a small credit chip, one of the basic ones laborers used. There's about a week's worth of meal credits on here. It's not much, but no, Bella said, standing abruptly. The jacket slipped from her shoulders. I cannot accept this. Kanat's face fell. Hey, it's okay. There's no shame in needing help. You don't understand. Bella's voice trembled as she reached up and wiped the synthetic mud from her face, revealing the glowing bioluminescent patterns beneath. Her true identity literally illuminated the alley. I am Bella Viltara. I am not truly destitute. This was an experiment, a test. She watched Kanat's expression shift, confusion, realization, and then something that looked like hurt. An experiment, he repeated flatly. I wanted to know if genuine kindness existed, if anyone would help without knowing they would be rewarded. Tears streamed down her face, actual tears, not part of any performance. 43 sentient beings passed me by, 43 members of advanced species who couldn't be bothered to acknowledge my existence. And then you, a human, a species the galaxy barely respects, you gave me everything I needed and asked for nothing. Kanat was quiet for a long moment. Then he picked up his jacket, folding it carefully. I hope you found what you were looking for. Wait, Bella called as he turned to leave. She removed a crystalline pendant from beneath her rags, a genuine luminary heirloom worth more than most beings earned in a lifetime. Please, let me repay. Keep it, Kanat said, his voice gentle despite the hurt in his eyes. Real kindness isn't about getting something back. It's about seeing someone who needs help and choosing to be the person who stops. He paused at the alley's entrance. Maybe that's what makes us barbaric. We haven't learned to walk past suffering yet. As Bella watched him disappear into the crowd, she clutched the food container he'd given her. Around her, the port continued its endless commerce, species bartering, negotiating, calculating worth. But in that moment, Bella understood something the galaxy's most advanced civilizations had forgotten. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their tenacity. It was their stubborn, illogical, beautiful refusal to let compassion be a calculated transaction. She had found her answer, and it shamed every jeweled hall she'd ever walked through. Tomorrow she would find Kanat again, not as a beggar or a princess, but as someone who had learned what true wealth looked like.